Mateo's mom. So Mateo, yes, what he just said, he was diagnosed with kidney cancer. Another name for it is Wilms tumor or nephroblastoma, and he was diagnosed with that in December of 2018. He did not have any symptoms prior to his diagnosis. Mateo had a diagnosis because of an injury. He got kicked in his back, which led to some severe pain that he had, and that started us going to the hospital for some ultrasounds and tests. And that took about 2.5 months before he was finally diagnosed with having a very large tumor on his left kidney, and he was then diagnosed with stage 3 kidney cancer. The day that we found out was we were on our way to the Christmas market in Toronto, and Mateo and I had an appointment at Sick Kids, so he and I went ahead to that, and the rest of my family were on the way to the Christmas market. And when they told us that he likely had a mass that could be cancerous, we had to, I called my husband on the phone and said, you actually have to not go to the Christmas market and you need to come to the hospital right away. So it was very devastating. Do you remember that day, Mateo? Yeah, it was devastating for all of us.
She was born in February 2005, February 6th. She was very healthy. She met every milestone early. Ayverie was the healthiest baby, toddler, and child until cancer. She was never sick until cancer. So it was just a strange thing when she began to get sick. Ayverie was diagnosed with medulloblastoma, I guess medulloblastoma, in February 2013. She relapsed again in October 2015 and then again in November 2016. And then after that point, she never lived without cancer in her brain. And sadly, she passed April 3rd, 2019. Ayverie's symptoms upon diagnosis were just typical flu-like symptoms. We were actually in Disney World 2 weeks before everything started manifesting. And so I dismissed it at first as just exhaustion from being away on vacation and her catching up because she was back in school, and just the typical flu. But Ayverie never had been sick at this point, so I thought she was being a little bit of a princess, like she's complaining of a sore neck and she would only throw up in the sink. She wouldn't bend over. So I was like, Ave, stop being a diva, because she was a bit of a diva. But it continued. So this went on for a good 2-3 weeks to her official diagnosis, and the last 2 days she started getting dizzy. She had no headaches though at any point during this, so there wasn't any like pinpointing symptoms. And then she wouldn't lay flat to sleep the night before. Went to work the next morning, my mom took Ayverie again, and I called the doctor. And he's like, take her to Emerge right away. I want them to do an ultrasound and a CT scan. And I was like, a CT scan? This is our family doctor, because the hospital told me weeks prior that she had the flu and possible UTI. I said, okay. So we went there. My mom took her to the hospital. I met them there, and they did the ultrasound. It was fine. Then they did the CT scan, but they stuck us back in the waiting room because I think they thought they were just gonna discharge us. Then they pulled me back into the room, closed the curtain. They told me she had a 5-centimeter mass on the back of her brainstem. And we were rushed into McMaster, and we were put into the PICU right away, and she was there perfectly fine. And then the next morning she had, the next day she had a surgery, an almost 8-hour surgery to remove as much tumor as possible. And then the chaos just completely started.